Hi everyone, my name is Anna, and today I brought you a very interesting topic at the Blossom by Anna podcast channel. So, today I will be your intuitive mentor. We will have some exercises as well to upgrade yourself, to improve yourself. So, the topic for today is abundance mindset. But I'm going to bring you today a very interesting perspective about that. So stay with me here because you will have the chance, the possibility to create your own unique way for the abundance mindset. Are you interested? Yes. So let's go. I wanted to share with you first that everybody is so different and everyone could have a different perspective about life, about abundance, and especially richness too. So when you ask somebody that what richness means to them, then they could have really different answers. So I'm going to share with you my own perspective about abundance and especially how I created to see myself and to see my own abundance from a different perspective. So when we ask different people, they could have really different answers that what abundance and richness means to them. So for example, when somebody is really a hardworking person, then they could feel joy and enjoy their daily life when they work. They enjoy this kind of hardworking attitude. And I'm not talking about, this kind of really different perspective when somebody is working too much, too hard, and there are already some physical or health issues. So I'm not talking about this, just, like an attitude and positive attitude, like a virtue. But other people feel that they are, like more creative person, they want to create, and some people they are more logical and they want to think about different things. So everybody is different. And as we get to know ourselves, as we grow older, then we have the possibility to have different perception about abundance and richness. So maybe in your teenager years or when you were younger or in your early 20s, you had a perspective that how you want to live your life, but maybe these decisions, this kind of thought forms were not coming from your mind. Because at some point in the collective consciousness, we are all connected with each other. So when I see my teenager years, that was the time when the internet bomb just happened, and also the social media and also the marketing was really really intense. Because for example, previously here in Hungary, the people had this kind of communism system. So we haven't seen, or the people didn't see, different commercials or different brands. So that was a huge information bomb in this kind of areas. So we started to receive, and not just, here, I think globally we could see on a global scale that there are a lot of information here already. There is the social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and so many things. So many information is available. And we should see and we should know that, okay, what is my energy? What is my thought form? What is my emotion? And what is coming from the outside world, which at some point influences me, but not into the direction where I should go. So I'm going to share with you my own example because I think that I could share with you explanations and definitions, but when I share with you a story or an example, then you will have a reminder for sure. So you will remember it for sure. So first of all, I thought that my own value, that my own priorities. So I'm going to share with you now some priorities or values, what we could think that, this is my value, this is important for me, this is how I could create my own abundance. So I had an idea that freedom is really important for me. So when I was working in the multinational company area, And when you worked in different places like multinational companies here in Hungary, like SSC, shared service centers, or something like this, the workload or the workflow, the speed of the work could be really high. And I don't think that it's only here in Hungary. I think it could be a global issue or important thing. But I was working in supply chain too. Previously, I was working in supply chain, but especially in the automotive area. Why is it important? Because the high level of the supply chain, where there are a lot of expectations, working like high level professional automotive companies, then there were some expectations. So I had to be really diligent, humble, and also focused, that I had to integrate all of the processes on a really professional level. And sometimes that was really, really stressful. So I thought in my 20s that, oh, I need freedom. I want to be free. I want to have my own time management. But when I look back now, I wanted to have less stress in my life, not more freedom. Yes, at some point it is nice when you have your own business, when you are an entrepreneur, then you don't have this kind of exact holiday days as when you are an employee. But to be honest, I realized later that, and especially now when I'm talking about this, that stress was the main cause, that I wasn't able to feel so much better in the last couple of weeks, months, period when I was working for different multinational companies. That was really, really stressful sometimes, but I wasn't aware of that during that time. Maybe that was my own expectation, and I was working later on my ancestor line, on my genetic energies. I am working in one-on-one sessions also with my clients, and I am working on myself as well now with my own energy healing technique. And I had to see this, that, for example, a value for my ancestors was to working so hard. But as I already told you at the beginning of this podcast episode, then working hard could be really, like a value, like a skill, like a virtue, like diligence. This is beautiful. But the other way, when you are working too hard, so I had to hear some different past memories, energy, imprints about that. And I was able to see that I thought that I was working smart, but I had the ability to work even smarter, not harder. So the first important bullet point now in our conversation, I'm talking to you, so it's a conversation. It's about freedom. That I thought that this value is freedom, but at some point that was just being stress-free. And I want to give you another perspective about freedom, that yes, that freedom was also one of my values, priorities during that time, but in another way, that I wanted to do my highest service. So for me, during that time, I already had my own business. Previously, I already started my business, and I really felt a call to make this as a business, this service. And I wanted to be only in my own business. So that was the way how freedom and the priority of freedom manifested in my own life. In my previous podcast episode, I already mentioned to you astrology and numerology, and now this time I want to come back to this point because in the last period I started to learn astrology and numerology as well. And I already knew this previously, but when I started to combine this kind of information together, I started to have a whole new perspective. So maybe you are familiar with your sun sign. When I'm talking about astrology, I'm really talking about the deeper knowledge of that. When we have a whole birth chart, with the different houses, with the different zodiac signs. Here in Hungary, there is another way about astrology when we see not just the zodiac signs, but also the whole sky systems, that how the star constellation could also affect your birth chart. So there is another level or another way for to do that. But when we are just talking about the normal astrology, not astrosophy, because this is astrosophy, then in astrology, I could tell you that that was a huge insight for me when I realized during different periods that, for example, I have my own sun sign. This is Libra. So Libra, when you are not familiar with this zodiac sign, Libra is really an airy sign. So it's about communication, talking, self-expression, love others, connections, and especially relationships, also love relationship, but friendships, social life, just this kind of easygoing vibe. When I left my previous job, I knew that I am a Libra, but I didn't know that this particular area of my life, how to express myself, what kind of people who are around me, next to me. So I wasn't aware of that how important these things for me. But then I realized, and also that how can I implement these ways into my business, in my life. And I really started to have a new perspective about my whole life. So maybe at this point, you just don't know why I am talking about these things. But at the end of the process, you will see that why these things are so, so, so important in case of your own unique way in manifestation and abundance. So in case of Libra, then we could see that, for example, in my own manifestation, abundance, and richness way, my unique way for that, it's really about relationships too. Because some people could feel really good alone. And I am this person too. Because when I'm checking my own astrology chart, I am absolutely aware of that why I need to be alone sometimes, or not just sometimes, because yes, it's a ritual for me. It's very, very important. I am also a creative self-expression person. So sometimes I just need to be calm. But I am different, I am unique in my own way, as you are, as everyone is. And for example, my own spiritual journey and my own abundance journey is not about being alone, being separated. It's really about the connection too. So, for example, my own richness, my own unique abundance way is or could be manifested in my relationships. So maybe you were not thinking about this way, about manifestation and abundance and richness in your life. But when you are really airy, easygoing, fun, spontaneous person, and when the relationships are really important to you, and we could have different chapters in our life too, so periods, but anyway, when you are this person, then, for example, your own unique way to the abundance could be manifestation around the social life, about relationships, and especially love relationship. So, for example, in my own life, I thought always that I need to have people in my life who are really dedicated to do self-development. And you know what? I just realized that yes, it's important for me. For example, that they need to be conscious or emotionally intelligent. But being spontaneous and adventurous and having fun is also very, very important for me. So being calm is also important for me, but As I told you, just having fun, and enjoying the moment together is also like this. And the other point I wanted to share with you, it's about monotony, that I can do it, but I don't prefer to do it. So my rising sign in my birth chart is Sagittarius. So Sagittarius about languages, about traveling, teaching and learning. So when you see me that I am attending to a webinar or a seminar or a course, then I am so excited. I am in my zone of genius because I love to learn. And it is the same when I'm doing something like teaching. I'm doing my podcast episode and I enjoy so much. And it is the same when I have the possibility to talk to someone using, different languages. I was so happy that I had the chance, for example, in the last couple of months to use again. And then I enjoy to use the English language. So there are a lot of opportunities that how we could express ourselves, that how could we a unique expression of the life force. And especially when we see our main characteristics and main priorities, then we could have really different point of view. So for example, in case of myself, the Sagittarius, like I told you, it's really about the foreign languages, different countries, languages, teaching, learning. So it is important to have this kind of dynamic in my life. But I have also, this kind of empathic and sensitive self within myself. I could see in my numerology chart and also in my birth chart. As I told you, I am a Libra. The Libra people are really social but also very sensitive and empathic to other people's feelings and emotions. So it's also important for me. And I have seen in my one-on-one session that it could be a huge breakthrough just to have this kind of empathic side. But then I realized, for example, that it is also very helpful in my group programs. So actually, when I'm making the records, I already feel the vibe of my future audience. So I don't need to wait to have a live event. It happens like this, during the live events that I could see and feel the vibration of the attendants. But actually, there is no time from the quantum perspective. So I could really feel the vibration my audience during just to make the record and channeling the messages according to that. So you don't need to think that I am overwhelmed with this kind of feelings, because I was working on myself just to release this kind of any obligation that I should take other people's feelings, emotions and energies. But now this is so nice to have this kind of conscious insight within myself that okay, I know what's going on right now and we could work on that. But as we see this kind of characteristics that like I told you, that the languages, other countries, other cultures, teaching, learning, or the empathic side, maybe some people could think that oh, this is not an advantage, this could be a disadvantage. But when we turn around our perspective and see the things from a different perception, then we could realize that it could be our biggest strength. When we realize this, that so with the empathy, I have the opportunity to serve the people in this way. But especially I need to take care of the circles around me, that for example, what kind of people, vibrations are around me. This is my conscious decision, and yes, I could take care of that. But as I just told you, for example, in my own unique way, for the abundance could be part of this journey to that too, that I'm taking care of my circles. I hope that you have already some insights or examples that how many different ways we could manifest in our life. I think manifest money is important because we are in this physical world, but as you could see that there are some unique ways for you to manifest, and especially when you are aware of yourself, and when you have this kind of self-discovery experience, then you could have really different perspectives about manifestation. And the last one, what I wanted to share with you, and it's already in connection with my solar number, what I already mentioned previously in my podcast episode. So if you didn't check the previous podcast episodes, I really recommend, because there are some important insights and could be also a breakthrough for you in case of your life purpose, that how you could live your life. So anyway, my soul urge number is number 3. So for example, in my case, and this also in connection with Libra too, but self-expression, creativity, to find always, like creative ways in my business, in my life, every part of my doing and living, it's important. So for example, in my business life, you could see that I am doing this podcast episode, and you could hear that I am not suffering to do that. Actually, I enjoy to do this podcast episode, and each and every moment when I am doing my own creation in my own business, like channeling messages, like channeling energy healing techniques, or channeling video courses, I love to do that. I enjoy it so much. But I take time, I was taking the time to discover myself, that what kind of things are important for me. So as you could see, when we see, Anna Forgo and me, then we could see that, some people maybe want to be alone or separated, or want to have more time alone. But you could see in my case that, the balance is really important for me, being alone, but also have an active, dynamic, and loveful, lovely social life, supportive one, and also to express my things in a creative way. And also, you have seen the foreign languages, other countries, travel, teaching, learning. So this is my own unique way to express the abundance in my life. So when I am doing my own manifestation list, I should know this kind of preferences, and I should ask for that, because when we are not in alignment with our pure essence of being, then even if we want to have, this type of car, I really don't want to say any brand or type, I just want to make it global. So when you want to have this kind of type of car in your life, but it's not in alignment with you, because you should have something as better or even more, then the universe wants to give you a better one. Then when you start to make meditation, when you start to channel your own pure messages and see yourself from a different perspective, then you will open more doorways for the universe to create abundance in your life in your own special, unique way. So that's why I decided to make an energy exercise together. If you already listened to my previous podcast episodes, you know that sometimes we make together different exercises, and I also sometimes I suggest to do different exercises after the podcast episode, but now we're going to do it together during the listening of this podcast episode. So just so you know, you will close your eyes. If you are driving, if you are walking, you don't need to close your eyes. You could listen to this particular areas, but you could skip this part as well. Just check that what is the end of this particular energy exercise, and you could come back when you finished your drive, when you finished your walk, when you have time to be in a calm space, to be in a calm environment, and then you could do this exercise. It's important, okay, just to take your time. So let's go. Let's do this together. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. And I just want you to imagine that you are in this beautiful space around you. There are a lot of information, love energy, supportive energies around you, and especially if you feel the connection with your own heart, with your heart chakra, and with your soul. So we're gonna see now that what is your unique abundance way. And now you will have some insights according to my questions, and you don't need to think about it. You will have automatically an instant answer from this kind of quantum, from the life force around you. So you don't need to concentrate, just let go of any expectations, anything. Just focus to the energy around you and just receive the first answer. The first question is that what is abundance to you? What does abundance mean to you? And you could ask the life force, the quantum, what is abundance to me? Please show me. And just receive the first answer. Don't think about it. Don't judge the first answer. Just embrace it. And then we continue with the next one. Number 2, quantum, how can I express myself in the easiest way? And the quantum has a very exact definition about the easiest way, and we will collect the information according to that now. So just let it go and receive the answer. So, quantum, how can I express myself in the easiest way? And just receive the answer. And then we continue with number 3. So, quantum, where do I feel the best? Like people, places, or time. Where, when, how do I feel the best? Where do I feel the best? And just receive the first answer. And when you finished with that, then we're going to continue with the last one. And this is number 4. When am I the most energized? Please, quantum, show me. When am I the most energized? And just receive the answer. So if you need, you could pause now the podcast, or you could come back to this particular area. And I just want you to ask to write down all of the answers for this kind of questions. That what is the abundance for you to you? How can you express yourself in the easiest way? Where do you feel the best? And when are you the most energized? You could go back, you could re-listen this particular area, and then just write down the answers. Okay, so if you need time, just pause the audio and then you could continue, because I'm going to share with you some other things too. So we're going to continue with this meditation exercise and the journaling as well. So you already wrote down the answers, what you received. And then you have now the possibility to write down other things. So my first question is for you, that what is new for you? You could even close your eyes. That what was new for you around that, around these answers. What did you already know about you or about these answers? So if you think, then you could pause again the video just for a few moments, just for a minute. You don't need to write down a lot of things. It's up to you. Just to have a clarity that what kind of insights you already gained from this exercise. So when you finished answering the questions, what I just told you, that what was new for you, what did you already know, then I want you to ask you to close your eyes again. As you could see, this podcast episode is really interactive, but I love this. I love to do these things. So, for example, during my video courses or meditations, you have the very familiar experience, or you could have some amazing breakthroughs because it is even more intense. But I love to do like this, I don't want to give the answers to you. I want to teach you how to have your own answers, because I think this is your key, this is your tool in your hand, what you couldn't lose any time anyway, because it will be in your hand. So actually you could come back to this podcast episode if you want to have a new version, a refresh, because as time goes by, our priorities or values could change a little bit, but just so you know. Okay, so we're gonna start another round with this exercise. This is the round 3, and then you could close your eyes and you could just tune into that, and or even if you want, you could ask the quantum that how do you want to live your life? So you could ask from yourself or the space around you that how do I want to live my life? And just receive the answer. How do I want to live my life? And then you could write down your answer. If you think or if you need, then you could pause the audio for a second. And then we could continue with the next one. How does abundance want to flow into your life? How does abundance want to flow into your life? You could keep your eyes closed and at the end writing down the answers, or you could do it now. And then the last one of these questions is, how does the life force want to create abundance in your life? So you could ask the life force, okay, life force, how do you want to create abundance into my life, in my life? And just receive the answers. Really take your time, tune into these questions. If you need more time, you could pause the video, you could pause the audio, and you could come back. But after when you finished and you received your own answer, your unique answers from the quantum field, then this is your time to pause the audio and then writing down, jot down the answers what you received, okay? So just take your time, write down the answers, and then continue with the next part. So now you could have 3 different answers for these questions, but it could also happen that you have really familiar or similar answers for these questions. So here is the thing. When you are in alignment with the source, then the first answer for the first question could be really familiar, could be the same as you received the next 2 answers for the next 2 questions. So when you are working on yourself, when you start to realize that what is your soul, what is your life purpose, and how you could create this in your life in the physical world, that each step could bring you to this kind of alignment in your life. Okay? So I'm really curious about that what kind of insight you already gained from this exercise. You could comment, you could send your feedback to me. You could see all of the contact details at the description field of this video. If you are on YouTube, you listen to this podcast episode on YouTube, feel free to comment, use this kind of possibilities. Also, you could see the podcast episode at my website. So I'm really happy if I could see that what kind of insights you already gained from this exercise. But the process doesn't end here, because maybe you already had some manifestation list. If you didn't have, no problem at all. But according to this kind of new perspectives and new information, and as I just told you, if you want, then you could even repeat this kind of exercises. So now you could have a new perspective for your manifestation list and for your goal list. So just start to think about that what kind of new information you have right now, you gained. And this new information, the new perception, perspective, insights, how will affect, your existing manifestation and goal list. How you could be more in alignment with your soul, with the quantum. Because actually, when you make this kind of transformation, when you change your manifestation list according to this kind of new perspective, and I don't say that you need to cancel, delete all of the things, which is different than what you receive now. You could take your time, just to process the things what you received. You could repeat the exercise as I told you, okay? just be aware of that after this exercise, I really recommend to do a catch up with your manifestation list, with your goal list, and to see, okay, am I in alignment with my soul goal, with my life purpose, with the quantum, with the abundance, with my own unique way, what the life force want to give me according to my manifestation list? Or I should just, refine a little bit or make some changes or add some extra things. What do you want to add to this manifestation list or goal list? At the end of this podcast episode, I want to share with you another example from my own life. Maybe you already knew it, but just so you know, that I was born in Hungary, and I had always a perception about that I want to live here. As I already shared with you, in my birth chart, there were some tendencies about foreign languages, different countries, and my work area was especially about that. So I was working in supply chain for different countries. I was traveling in Europe about different projects. I had more than one. I had several jobs when I was working in other countries or working for other countries and using different languages. But I had a really exact perception that I want to live here in Hungary. And once when I had one of my seminars, I hold a seminar, and we were doing some manifestation exercises. And when I'm working with my clients or with my students, I'm really focusing on them. But so many times I just receive some intuition and meditation answers, me too. And this time happened exactly the same way. So I was doing the exercises with my own client students, and then I had the intuition to ask the life force. I received the message that I need to ask the life force that what do I need to manifest? And then I got the answer, that an exact country, not just country, an exact place like county, that where I should live, because this will be my happy place. This will be the place where I could expand myself in the best way. And, I received the answer that I should live there. I just don't want to make any spoiler now. You will see it in the future for sure, as you just follow me on different platforms or, newsletters, website, or social media. Anyway, so I just received the answer about this country that I should live there, and I just asked that, okay, why should I live there? And when the quantum, the life force, showed me this kind of expansion, this kind of possibility, I never imagined, I never thought previously that my life could be like this, but I already had some great manifestation. I had some great visions. So that wasn't about this, that I was downgrading myself. That wasn't about this. But the quantum, the life force, had a really huge perspective for me. And then I realized that this is my way. So I started to organize my life according to this information. So I wasn't just waiting that it will happen someday. So actually, I started to do my daily activities according to this new idea. I hope so much that you enjoyed this podcast episode. I really enjoyed to record these ideas for you. And I hope so much that now I had the chance to give you some possibility to gain insights and to see your own unique and beautiful way for the abundance, because everybody is connected with each other, on some level, but everybody is different. Everybody is unique. So actually, life force guides you to the best place or to the best things what you could have in your life. Maybe you just don't know yet, or maybe you already know some things about that as you did the exercises. I just want to highlight here again, I really recommend to repeat the exercises because each and every day you could have more and more insights. I just want to give you a suggestion that be open, receptive, and just receive the surprises what the life force want to give you. Because the life force, the quantum is so lovely, so kind and supportive and abundant, and could have really different perspective sometimes, as we could see, but so many times our perspective could be the same or very, very similar as we are developing ourselves as we grow in our life. The final destination, is so many times could be better than we have ever imagined previously. So, this is my last sentence in this podcast episode around this topic. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all of your support. I just couldn't wait to see your insights, to see your comments. And if you like, then don't forget to share with others, spread the love, and see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.